Dude, can you believe it though? Like we're back. This is now episode 2.
All right, this is what I'm happy. First off, we need a name.
Yeah, I was literally just about to say this is episode 2 of our unnamed podcast. And we don't
should
know
maybe
what
call.
to title.
You know, what'd be funny? What do you call it? The unnamed podcast.
That could be good.
I don't know, whatever.
I also think Let's Talk About It is really good.
Let's talk about it's good. Lukewarm Take Pod, easy.
The Lukewarm Pod, just like Lukewarm Pod.
I think Boom Room's on tape.
Boom Room is good.
Boom Room's also good.
There's a lot, dude. But I feel like Boom Room's very generic to like.
I feel like, all right, guys.
Radio
first
show.
off, first episode, I think me and Nino were a little nervous. It was literally the first time.
Oh my god.
First time we ever did a podcast.
Yeah.
Like, literally sitting around people with like millions of followers. Like me and Nino sit on the couch, kind of like cross. Like, what do we really say?
Yeah, exactly.
This is gonna be a lot more like laid back because it's about conversations and topics that like we can actually talk about.
Yeah.
Like, we know each other. It's like good to talk about it. Also, it's gonna be kind of videos like based on like from our TikTok stuff that like did well that people want to hear more about.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of expand upon it.
I think the biggest thing for us is I want to look at our most viewed videos and talk about those videos in depth because I think that when we have a video that does really well, those videos are typically ones that we could talk about for an hour.
Oh my god!
Like we could literally.
We were talking
just
about that in the car
down.
the other day about like some like whatever topic it was at the moment. We're like, I could literally go on about this for 30 minutes.
Yeah, no, I forgot.
We have to make it a minute-long video.
I literally have to find that video because I know exactly what you're talking about, and because I think a lot of people don't realize this is just natural for us.
Yeah.
What we're doing right now is what we do every single day. We sit down, we go get food, and then we just talk.
We used to sit down at McDonald's and just make each other crack up.
Exactly.
And look how far we've come.
Yeah.
Now we got equipment, we got cameras, we got Mason.
Yeah, now we got Mason. Dude, I think Mason is gonna be like Jamie from Joe Rogan on steroids.
Oh no, I agree.
He's
just always gonna be on it.
Yeah. On yeah, Mason flexing.
On it, man.
But no, I want to start this podcast.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about girls being feral. I want to start.
That's what you want to start.
I want to start with this one.
So this is the problem. We just had the weekend. We're shooting on a Monday, Labor Day. We experienced the first game day this past weekend, right? Yeah. We're going out. Me and Nina are giving out man on the street. Yeah. We're talking to these girls, like blah, blah, not like not talk. We're interviewing them, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
When I tell you the amount of responses, the amount of times we had to cut things out of the video of girls just being like, I'm trying to get so feral today. Dude, I'm drinking all day. Like, first off, being feral is not drinking 5 Twisted Teas and then blacking out, Samantha. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, listen.
We need to do better than that. We got to last long. It's a long game day. We need to figure something out.
What I don't know, this is my problem, right?
Yeah.
When I think of a girl saying, I'm going to be feral tonight, I have a perfect example of this, right? It is 1:30 in the afternoon on like a Wednesday.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting in the study room. And these 3 girls walk in and they are having their chit chat amongst themselves. And this one girl just turns to the other girls and goes, shut the fuck up. We're getting feral tonight. We're gonna go crazy, and I'm thinking like, okay, they're ready to fire. I'm like, they're ready to fire.
Yeah.
There's gonna be snow falling from the ceilings, like everything. They're like, yeah, we got 3 of our girlfriends coming over later tonight. I'm like,
bottle of wine, bachelor, feral.
I'm like, hold on a minute.
Listen,
pause.
Don't get me wrong. You can say it. Like, I don't mind if you're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get feral. I'm going to have a great night.
Yeah.
But I want to hear, like, yo, I blacked out in an alleyway. I split my head open. Had to run to the hospital.
I woke up in the drunk tank with a knife in my shoulder. Like, that's feral to me. That's when I'm like, okay, you're actually a wild man.
I woke up, like, on top of a rooftop, like the Hangover movies. Didn't know how to piece my life together. Then I found a disco camera that recorded the whole thing. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear, like, yeah, I had Twisted Teas and I had a wine night with my girls. And then, don't get me wrong, I think there are some chicks, at least in college. Don't get me wrong, me and Nino, we go to Penn State. I would say throughout the years, we've probably seen, Mason, I think you can attest, I think we've seen the worst behavior of some people ever. Like, we've seen like some of the worst girl behavior you could possibly see.
Oh yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, if you're in a frat, in my opinion, if you're in a frat, I don't want to call I don't want to say groupies because I think that's a rough term. But what I will say is this: girls that are consistently at the frat, right? Like, all the time. They're there every single time we throw a party. They're there when we're not throwing parties.
They're there in the mornings after we threw the party.
Those girls, first of all, I have the utmost respect for you. I have so much respect
I
for you.
respect the girls that are the first ones to walk into a frat party. Because to walk into a room with 30 dudes standing around elevated surfaces with Natty Light in their hand, and you're the first one in there, and you're like, you know what? I'm dapping every brother up. They're having a fun. I respect you.
Dude, this is the visual. Like, you know how Jay did that visual of, like, the haters, where it's like they're a lefty, they're holding their phone with their left hand?
Yeah.
This is what it looks like. This is what I imagine it would look like if I was a girl walking
Sure.
into a frat party that hasn't started yet but is building.
Sure.
You have 30 dudes standing on the elevator, like you said.
Yep.
And then, in their left hand, let's say they're a righty, in their left hand they have a Natty Light.
They're not
And they're-
dominant.
And in their right hand, they're grabbing their junk. Because they're all just standing around with their dicks in their hands, waiting for people to show up. That has to be the most intimidating and least intimidating thing you could possibly see.
I'm so sorry. Like, Lukewarm Take, these guys join these frats. They go to the parties. They're like, they are so hyped up, so ready, standing on the elevator service, getting drunk. For them to literally stand in the corner of an elevated service all night, act like they're doing something on their phone, they're checking the weather. All these girls are in front of them. They're not saying a word to them all night.
Yeah, holy
like,
shit.
What's even the point of going out? Don't get me wrong, this is for single people.
Yeah,
Obviously.
yeah.
I
Of
don't
course,
mean if you're in a
of course.
relationship, I get it. Different. What's the point if you're a single guy and you're in a fraternity? Like, go have some conversation. Go,
Yeah, talk to somebody.
Like, these girls, I
Mingle.
always feel so bad whenever, like, I literally see 40 girls walk in. They're sitting in a little circle. They're standing in a circle, like the music's going, and there's 50 guys surrounding them. No one's saying a word. This is back to high school when the room's split in half. No one's slow dancing with each other at the middle school dance. It was a problem.
Yeah, no, that does bother me. And I think that also speaks to, like, what is the culture of, like, parties turning into?
Nothing good.
You know what I'm saying, though? Because, like, I feel
Nothing
like when I
good.
was younger, and maybe this is just because you're a freshman and you have all this crazy energy, I miss the days when it was 50 kids in a mosh pit going crazy to, like, Mo Bamba. I miss those days.
Jesus.
No, but you know what I'm saying, though?
That's not what I miss. I think what I miss is, well, I don't know. I have a different perspective. Me, I've always been the type, like, when I go out, I genuinely do not care about the place that I'm at. I genuinely care about the people that I'm with.
Yeah.
I don't
big
need
time.
to be in some crazy environment with a bunch of people and, like, everyone's doing different stuff. I literally need, like, me, my 4 friends sitting in a booth, like, just having some drinks, like, just catching up, like, having a good time. That is, for me, that's fun. And I feel like the culture nowadays is, like, we need to be with as many people as possible. Like, these, like, frat parties and stuff are so worried about people showing up. And then you look, like, all these dudes, like, these frat guys will tell you, like, oh my God, we threw the craziest rager last night. You look at videos from the night before, it's literally everyone just standing around. Like, no one's moving.
You're like, yeah, that
everyone's
was
shoulder,
fucking
everyone's
crazy,
shoulder
dude.
to shoulder, and everyone's like, oh my God, that was insane. I'm like, how is that fun for you guys? But
It's
some
not.
people love it.
It's not. Dude, I'm a firm believer that I could have the greatest night of my life with 2 people.
Yeah.
Genuinely. I really think.
Sitting in a room.
Yeah, just
Not even out.
shooting the shit. Dude,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say names,
Yeah.
but my little and his friend,
Yes.
you know who I'm talking
Yes.
about. I sat in a room with them
Yeah.
for like an hour and a half and probably laughed more in that hour and a half span than I have in the last year.
Well, no, because this is literally what we were talking about when we made a video on, like, pre-game's better than the actual party.
That's where I was going with this.
It's what it is that, like, there is nothing better than sitting in a room with the people that you genuinely enjoy, only the people that you genuinely enjoy. It's a small group environment. You guys are just firing off for each other. Like, the chemistry's there. Everyone's having a good time. That's my definition of, like, a lot of fun. I don't really understand the guys and the girls nowadays that, like, whenever they go out, they go, like, their version of going out is like, no, I need to be in this club, like I need to be in this crazy bar, like for me to go have fun.
No, I need to be at 11 watching the stripper. Like, no, you don't.
In my opinion, it's just like, and I think everyone's different. I think this really is open to interpretation. But my opinion of it is, it's like, what's wrong with just like you go to a little bar and you have your friends out and you know what I mean? Like that's your version of fun. But I think that's the problem is that it's just like finding the person nowadays that like matches your energy. If you're one of the people that you want to go to clubs, you want to go to raves, you want to be out in the scene, in the environment, go do that. But find someone who's like that. I think the problem, like, there's gonna be a lot of problems that starting in a relationship if you're one of these people that like I love to go to clubs, I love to go out, all that stuff, and then your significant other is like, no, I kind of like to stay at home, small environment, don't really like to go out.
Yeah.
The problem is there may not be nothing wrong like at the beginning, but I think later in the relationship there's gonna be some problems.
Yeah, I mean, did you ever play like fantasy sports games where like you could build your team with a bunch of different people?
Yeah.
Here's where I'm going with this. You ready? This is
It's
one of my favorite analogies that I can make.
Yeah.
FIFA in particular, because that was my big game growing up.
Okay.
You had two essentially aspects that built your team that made it a really good team.
Sure.
There was skill level. So let's say you had a bunch of guys that were like 90 overall.
Sure.
You could put that team together.
Yep.
And they may all be individually unbelievably good players.
Sure.
But the other part was chemistry.
Yeah.
The chemistry aspect was a lot of the time more important to building a good team than the actual skill level. You ready for this?
Yeah, go. I know what I'm going to say.
Exactly my point. The chemistry is more important in any setting, a party setting, a hangout setting, a casual just date night setting, right? If you have good chemistry with everybody there, you will have a better team than just a bunch of hodgepodge people that may all be really attractive, may be really like individually they're crazy party
I love
animals.
that you say this because this is where I'm going to take that now.
I'm ready.
This makes me laugh every time. There's people, this is what we talk about when you talk about designing your friend group.
Yep.
And I don't know if it's like this for girls. I really have never asked. I know it's like this for guys. In a guy's friend group, every man in this friend group serves a different purpose.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Every single one of them. You have a jokester, you have a leader, you have a drinker, you have like a ladies guy. Like everyone has their own role, and that's what you rock with, and that makes that chemistry. It's not like a bunch of just like great guys overall. It's like everyone has a different purpose. Everyone serves a different, like has different strengths and weaknesses. That makes the friend group when you guys go out, when you guys hang out, it is the best time ever because everyone brings something else to the table.
I think I'm such a firm believer that chemistry is the most important part.
Yeah.
Any sports team that I've ever been on, I've been on teams where there's a bunch of individually unbelievably talented athletes.
Sure.
And we got shit on compared to the teams where it was just like my friend group. Everybody was close on the team.
Yeah.
We would win the season. We would win out the season, go undefeated, lose once to like the best team there was, and like, and even still like we're losing in like the last 30 seconds of the game. You think about that, and it translates very well to that idea of building that friend group around people that all serve an individual purpose, and everybody gets along.
I feel like it's one of those things where it's like I've at least seen this in girlfriend groups. That is, I don't know if it's true. This is just kind of what I've observed over the years. That a lot of girlfriend groups that like aren't genuine. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know.
Those sorority friends, whatever. That it's like they're all kind of the same person, or they're all kind of fighting to be like a certain position, like a certain personality in the little squad. And then those are the friend groups that like the girls. Like you'll hang out with them, and then 1 second after one girl leaves, the other girls in the group are like, "Oh my god, I can't stand her," like and stuff like that.
I know where I'm taking this too.
I feel like guys have a better handle on. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's every guy in a friend group that like is like the butt of that. Like I'd say the butt end of a lot of jokes. I feel like there's always one of those. But like I feel like girls it's so much worse.
No, it definitely is. And what I was gonna say before, and where I want to take this now is. Can we just talk about, like, fake people? Because I think this is something that, like...
I'd agree.
I think this is something that needs to be addressed.
Let me hear it.
I'm sorry, but I genuinely could not care less if you're being fake or if you're being real with me. which I think is
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
I think people that put on this persona
Yeah.
of, oh my God, I'm your best friend, I'm this,
Sure.
I'm that, we're
Sure.
buddy, and then they turn around and they're like, fuck this kid,
Yeah.
right? 99% of the time, if they're good at what they do, you don't know the difference.
Yeah, you'll never know.
I don't think it matters. If
I think
you're,
it does.
no. I think when it boils down to your closest friends,
Yeah.
you don't want somebody faking your life.
No, not at all.
And one of my favorite quotes of all time is a Young Thug quote. Fucking crazy enough,
That's
right?
crazy.
I know, right? And I've said this to you before, but this goes back to that whole like being fake with somebody, being friends with them. Just because you lost me as a friend, this is the quote. Just
Okay.
because you lost me as a friend doesn't mean you gained me as an enemy.
Okay.
So I still want to see everybody eat,
Yeah.
just not at my table.
Hmm.
That's a Young Thug quote.
I'm so
Think about that.
so different. I'm so
I
different.
fully subscribe to that theory of I'm not gonna hate you because you don't like me. We may not be best friends.
Yeah.
We may not be buddy,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna hate you for that. I am very self-aware of how shitty of a person I can be a lot of the
Fair.
time, and so I see when somebody doesn't like me, I'm like, if I were you, I probably wouldn't
Listen,
like me either.
I'm only
to be
gonna
honest.
say this because I know that there's gonna be some people that agree with me on this.
Alright,
When it comes to friends, I'm so bad with this. You know I'm bad with this.
I'm ready.
I'm in a sense of like if like we're friends, we start
Yeah.
up as friends,
Mhm.
whatever, and for some reason I find out you're fake to me, you're talking shit behind my back, you're doing something that I don't like, you're not there for me as like a true friend. I literally look, or like they hate on me, like whenever I'm not there.
Yeah.
I look at that as like, dude, you are so irrelevant in my life.
Well, yeah.
I never want to even talk to you again.
Yeah.
Not even if I get what you're saying with like, oh, you don't hate them, but I'm one type where it's like, as soon as you show that you're not like a loyal friend to me, as soon as you show that like, I'm a huge believer in like, I want a small circle. I want like 4 dudes, 3, 4 guys that like I can trust with my life, and that's it. I don't need that friend group of 50 people that I all call my friend. But like when, you know, if shit hits the fan, they're not really there for you. I don't need that. And let me tell you, like whenever I find out like you're not a true friend, you're not really there for me, I am blocking you out of my life so fast.
Yep. Yeah.
That it's not, I mean, that's just how I look at it.
No, and not to be the quote guy, but another very good quote
Another.
by Joey Diaz.
Sure.
He actually, I don't know if this was his podcast or Joe Rogan. This Joey Diaz quote. He said, "You don't need a group of 20 people.
No.
You don't need this big, fabulous friend group. Oh, there's 100 people that I'm best friends.
Yeah.
No, because the reality is you're not best friends with 100 people. He said, all I need
It's true.
is 3 people, and I could take over a country.
Yeah.
And I do believe that. I am a firm subscriber to this theory of if you have 3 close people in your
Yeah.
life that you're really close with,
Yeah.
you don't need
Because
anybody
then
else.
what's the alternative? The alternative is you're gonna be you're gonna be like one of those girls that like says they have 100 friends, and then like their like birthday comes around, has 100 shout outs about how great of a friend they are, and then literally as you're hanging out with one of the girls who's posting on her birthday, you literally hear her say, "Oh my god, I literally hate this chick," but like whatever.
yeah,
we're I have to post it. Or the
her.
comments under her Instagram post go crazy.
Oh,
and I'm
segue.
looking at him like,
Segue.
I have like 5 of you in the comments. I know you don't like her.
Yep.
Like, who are we fooling here?
Segue into this next topic, which we made a video on, and I feel so fucking strongly about
Go.
this. The Instagram comments underneath some girls' posts. Don't get me wrong. I truly believe a lot of those comments
We
coming from a chick.
we love comments. We love those
Yes.
like, hyping up.
Yes.
Everyone loves
1000%.
positive comments. We love positive comments.
Exactly.
We hate the hate. Whatever. Go.
Exactly my point. With that being said, it is so
Blatantly
easy,
obvious.
so blatantly obvious when somebody is being fake
Yeah.
versus being real when
Yeah.
they're commenting on somebody's Instagram.
Yeah.
Like you just said,
Yeah.
I have literally been in conversations where they have to post for somebody's birthday,
Yeah.
right? And they literally tell me,
Like I hate this.
I hate this person. And then that comment is, "Oh my God,
You're
you
the most
ate.
gorgeous person.
Oh, you
ever."
slayed. You literally are the prettiest, hottest girl I've ever seen." Fire emojis, tongue out. Oh, heart. Like, it's obvious, and at that point, what is the point?
Like, what are we doing?
But
here?
and that's kind of what I'm wondering is,
Yeah.
what is the point?
I don't know.
Why are you being fake to the extent? And I mean, maybe it's just because we're guys, we don't deal with
Yeah,
that
of course.
same kind of social interaction. But why is it that some girls feel the need to act like they're best friends with somebody when they could not stand them?
I don't know. I think it's a different thing where it's like, for guys at least, it's.
Oh,
I think guys are a lot more direct. Not all the time, because I understand there's a lot of fake people in this world nowadays. No
Oh,
one's really
1000%.
direct. I remember I was sitting in my living room in my apartment the other day, and I was quite literally, I'm not gonna lie, I was talking shit.
Yeah.
On like
Yeah.
these people that like, you know, they like come to our apartment and then like whatever, like they're just like weird, like drink our alcohol, don't pay for anything, you know what I mean, just like abuse it, right?
I know exactly.
They come,
They're referring to.
they come to my apartment, they do all this stuff, and they're always brought by one person. It's so hard to say this stuff and not use any names.
Don't use any names
But
because
they're
I
like
immediately know who you're talking
brought
about.
by one person, whatever, and like I'm like talking shit, and I'm like, oh my God, I hate these people when they come in, blah blah blah. And this person who's sitting in my living room is like, why don't you tell them that? Like, say it to their face.
You won't.
And I was like, wait, no. I was like, all right, fair. I swear to God, the next night, they walk in, and I go, why are you always in my apartment? Like, you drink all my alcohol, like, you eat all my food, like, you literally just hang out here way too long, overstay your welcome, like,
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like, no one invited you here. I'm sorry. No one invited you here. No one wants you here. Like, kick rock. I said it to their face.
And
of
what was
course-
the reaction?
And
What
of course
was the
they're
reaction
mad.
to it?
Of course, they're like, what are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. But then I think it helped there was a little bit of alcohol involved. Everyone was a little, you know.
Yeah,
whatever.
a little looser.
But the person was like, you know what? Fair. Like, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was taking advantage. I didn't know I was overstaying my welcome. I didn't know. Thank you for pointing it out. And then after, they're like, let me Venmo you next time for like whatever.
Dude.
Let me, you know what I mean? Like, let me
Holy-
know. When, like, next time you want me to leave, turn off the music, just walk out. And you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
I think that is so much more productive than the petty fake shit. I
Yeah.
know it is.
Yeah.
Because when you force somebody to be uncomfortable like that,
Yeah.
and they have no choice
Yeah.
but to address what you just brought up, like you
100%.
just said, where you're sitting there, and hey, maybe it is when alcohol is involved.
Sure.
Maybe it is. Everybody's sitting around smoking,
Yeah.
and you're like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna sit here on my high horse and be like,
I've
I'm
never
not
done
that
something
person.
like that, yeah.
I am that person
Fair.
a lot of the times. But that goes back to like, I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
And I try to make the person, like if I don't smoke a lot,
Yeah.
but back when I did, if I was smoking somebody's weed consistently,
Yeah.
I would then try and hit them with a Venmo.
Try.
Or I try to get them back.
Sure.
Like, my whole thing is, if you're aware that you're that person,
Yeah.
just own up to it. Understand that you are that person. And then, I guarantee you that the person that you're mooching off of or whatever, they're going to be more inclined to want to be around you.
That's true. And
Because it's real. Because
Yeah.
you understand it. Because you're aware that, hey, I'm kind of being a scumbag right
Yeah,
now.
and I think it goes the other way too, where it's like if you have someone in your life that like you necessarily like you kind of have a problem with, like you don't want to bring it up because it's an awkward conversation. Either you think they use you, or you think that like they're rude to you. They think whatever. I think it's about time, like in our life at least, where it's just like, all right, like we like you know it's 2023. We're only living so long, like. Let's bring it up. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a problem with somebody, I'm never going to hold back what I think about somebody. If I have a problem with you, I'm addressing that with you so quickly. Like, we've done that in the past with each other. I think me and Nino
Oh
are very
my
open.
God,
And this also goes for, like, really close friend groups that it's like, you know your true friends whenever it's like, whenever you have a problem with somebody, you're bringing it up immediately to their face. Being like, yo, I have an issue when you do this. And immediately, okay, it's solved.
Dude.
Hey, I didn't know I was doing that. Sorry, done. Let's go.
I'm genuinely happy you brought that up because I think we should talk about this. For people that maybe they're in the situation where they are kind of not forced to be fake,
Yeah.
but they're fake because they don't want to maybe hurt somebody's feelings.
Sure.
Goes back to that point of
Yeah.
really close friends are not worried to be like, yo, dude, you're acting like an asshole.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude,
fuck
it's
you.
what Salim was saying on the podcast. He was like, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I think. Like, if you have a
Because
bad
he's
video, whatever.
real.
Exactly. If you have a bad video, whatever, I'm gonna tell you. If I think you have a shitty idea, I'm gonna tell you.
And that, I'm telling you right now, and I think everybody will understand this, that kind of thing that's the one trait, really, that I'm looking for in a close friend, is them to be able to come up to me after I made a video. And this actually used to happen. I'm not going to bring up a name.
Yeah.
But back when I was doing the no cloud stuff.
Sure.
I had people come up to me and go, dude, I'm going to be honest, I love what you're doing, but this is a fucking terrible idea. It's not funny. You look stupid. And I'm telling you this because I know that you have something, but this is not it.
You'll think of something, but
Yeah, exactly. And they were like, listen, I'm not saying stop doing this right now, try to find something else. They're like, keep doing it. Understand, though, that it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
And you need to think of something better if you want to be really successful. And I am so much more grateful for that person than the 150 people who are like, dude, I love it. And and then I hear from another person
they're like talking shit.
talking so much shit.
We should put that on a t-shirt, Mace. Don't be fake.
Don't be fake.
That'd be funny.
Mace, can you pull up "Don't Be Fake" on a t-shirt? Jamie, can you just...
Jay, just throw that up real quick. Nah, but I don't know. That's it's 20. My thought is, look, life's way too short
Yeah.
to not bring up stuff. This goes for relationships. This goes
I
for
think it's an
friendships.
age thing.
Maturity for sure.
Oh,
Maturity for sure.
I got something I want to talk about.
I'm just a huge believer in relationships, friendships, no matter what. It's like, dude, life's too short for me to be holding back what I think.
Yeah.
For me to be holding back something that you did, I'm upset about, whatever. It goes back to the whole it's fine thing.
We didn't talk about that.
And we can.
I want to talk about that.
Yeah, but this goes back to the whole it's fine thing where it's just why are we just not bringing stuff up immediately? If you have an issue, why are you trying to hold back, let it fester, let it grow and grow and grow, and then it blows up all of a sudden and either a friendship or relationship to where it can't be repaired then. It starts off as such a little thing, such a little inconvenience, hey, I didn't really like this, and then you hold it back, and then things just keep piling and piling and piling and piling, and then it explodes.
Yeah. I think "It's Fine" is arguably the worst part of our society right now.
The
And
worst.
it's not...
I think it's the worst text you can ever get.
I don't even think it's necessarily "it's fine." I think it's this mentality
Yeah.
of not just, yeah, it's fine, whatever, I don't care, it's not a big deal, but we said it in the video, the passive aggressive mindset
100%.
that comes with.
Yeah.
Because if you can't genuinely address your feelings,
Yeah.
I don't think you'll ever have real friends.
Nah.
You'll never have people that are really close with you, people that really care.
Yeah.
Because they're just going to pretend like whatever is going on is insignificant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And then if they don't think there's a problem going on, then they're not going to address it. No one's going to address it. Next thing you know, everyone's pissed at each other. Blah, blah, blah. Because if I have beef with you, and then all of a sudden you're in a bad, all of a sudden I'm in a bad mood because I think, I'm mad at you, whatever, then it keeps going back and forth, it explodes.
Yeah. Honestly, what time are we at right now? 30 minutes? Shit. All right. I want to do one last segment. And I want to go... All right.
All right, guys, so to wrap up, you need to explain. Yeah, explain.
Yeah, I think we jump in. So, I don't know if we're going to be on... I think maybe we'll put in a clip of, when we were just, reading it out. But essentially, we just went live on TikTok. We just figured out what is one thing that you guys want to hear, and we'll talk about it, which I think we're going to make a consistent theme on this podcast.
Yeah.
But somebody brought up the point of, I'm being ghosted by my summer fling.
What do you do?
What do I do?
Back at school, big problems at home.
So I think the first question that we have to ask is,
Go.
were you dating? Was it an official thing, or
Summer
was
fling,
it just...
so it definitely wasn't official.
Yeah, definitely not official, but was it unofficially official?
I hate...
No, because you don't like that this exists, but it does exist.
That's fair.
It's like...
I hate that term so much.
But it's a reality.
Yeah,
and I think the more that we kind of...
I don't believe in unofficial official.
I
don't believe in situationships that's like, oh, we're together, but we're not. No,
I firmly
dude, you're
believe
dating
that.
or not, but whatever. Okay, we're gonna move on.
We should talk about that next time.
Oh my god, absolutely. I could literally rant about that.
No,
forever.
I could too.
sorry about this. In my opinion, summer flings, if they ghost you, in my opinion, that means like, hey, like, it probably if you live in a small town, if like they were whatever, like they were just kind of looking for something to do for the summer, like kind of hang out with you, go on dates, do whatever. That's fine. If they ghost you whenever like you come back to school, that basically just means like, hey, like when we're at home, sure, like I'll hang out when I got nothing else to do. But like at school, like I don't want to be associated with you. I don't want to do the distance, whatever. In that case, my advice, and don't go back. I know so many people that like first off cut it off immediately. But I know so many people that like literally for years have done like, oh, every summer we come back and we hook up, hang out, do whatever. Summer flights, like a consistent summer flight. I'm like, why are you wasting your time? That person doesn't want you 9 months out of the year, but whenever they come back to your small town and they have nothing else to do, that's when they're going to hit you up. Why would you want someone like that?
I'm going to take the exact opposite
That's
stance.
so crazy. I knew you were going to.
Dude, it is a fling for a reason.
Oh my God.
It is a summer fling for a reason.
Yeah.
The person that I'm in the summer fling with, I'm not trying to be in a relationship with. I
Fair.
don't want it to be serious.
But that has to be mutual.
But that's what it is.
Yeah.
A summer fling in my eyes is you're hooking up for the summer.
Yep.
Maybe there's some resemblance to dating, but you're
Sure.
not. You're not going out on dates all the time, and you're not spending money on them the same way that you would a significant other.
Fair.
My eyes, the summer fling is very fun because you two are looking for something that's entertaining for a short period of time. And if you can go back to that and it's not awkward, it's not weird, I think that is the coolest relationship dynamic you can possibly have outside of a perfect relationship.
I fully get where you're coming from. I think the only caveat to that is it has to be mutually established. Hey, this is a summer thing. When we go back to school, it's like there's no
But that's
strings.
a
like,
summer fling.
But no, because then why would she even ask? Oh, like he's ghosting me. What do I do?
I think
that's what I'm saying. That
this-
means it's not established.
This is my problem.
Oh my God.
I don't think that if you're hooking up with somebody over the summer, that either person can expect that it's going to turn into something serious.
So it depends on how
You
you treat
cannot,
it, dude.
but the problem is you cannot go into that thinking, hey, I want this to be serious.
Yeah.
You cannot go into it and catch feelings. You have to know before you get into it.
That's just
I'm
me
not
personally.
catching feelings.
But I think that has to be established with both parties. You can't think that yourself, oh, this is just going to be a summer thing. When I go back to school, I'm going to end it. You have to make that clear with her, like her, him, whoever. You got to make it clear, like, hey, I'm only looking for something for the summer. Are you down for that?
Yeah.
And then
fair,
it's a yes or a no.
Fair.
Because the worst case scenario is exactly what's happened to her right now, where it's like you go back to school, and then next thing you know, it's the person's ghosting you. You thought you had something going.
You
thought
caught feelings.
You caught feelings. Maybe you thought maybe something was going to happen, and then out of nowhere, you're looking dumb because they just ghost you out of nowhere. Because in your eyes, maybe you thought they treated it as a relationship. They wanted something more serious, and then out of their eyes, they're like, "What are you talking about? I literally was here. I just wanted this for like a couple months while I was home."
Well,
But you got to establish that first to save both of you guys like time, energy, everything.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's happened to me before where like I've had the one like really serious summer fling that ended up turning into a relationship,
Sure.
and then I ended up ending it because I didn't want it to go into
Sure.
school. And I've also had quite literally like a perfect summer fling where it's like we both agree,
both
like
know
we
exactly.
didn't even have to really talk about it.
Yeah.
It was we both know we're not catching feelings. This
Okay.
is not going to be a relationship. This is not going any further than August 20th when we go back to school.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and we both never had to address it.
Yeah.
And it is, to this day, probably the most enjoyable time I've had with somebody because we're mutually understanding of each other and what we want out of that.
The thing is, like, me personally, I hate that. Like, I hate, like, the whole fling, hookup culture, all that stuff. But I do fully understand, like, if that's something you're into, like, if that's just, like, you're not looking for anything serious right now, if that's what you're into, by all means, like, go have your fun, like, go do whatever. Just make sure both sides, like, both parties, understand what the deal is.
Yeah.
That's it.
Lukewarm take, hot or cold, let us know.
Let us know. Guys, second episode. Hopefully we did a little better than the first. We were a little awkward the first one, but hey, glad you guys stuck with us. If you're around this long, we love you. Stick to our socials, follow us. That's it. See you guys.
See you guys later.